What's up guys, it's Rota here, coming at you from Locals with Henry the man himself. We've heard all the deck profiles he's given me, he's going to show us one today in person, so please do take it away.
So we're here with my updated Marincess deck profile. Going into a new format, so it feels like deck needs a bit changing up with the new hand traps that we're going to be encountering. So, standard, 3 blue tie, best starter in the deck. Gets you to Foolish Burial, any sort of Marincess name. Your main target's usually going to be your 3 Seahorse. So the spring girls there. So the Seahorse, you use the you link into the Blue Slug after sending it, and then use Blue Slug to add back the Seahorse. Turn special summon, and then go into your Sea Angel, and it opens up your plays. So 3 Seahorse, again, very standard. Spring Girl, best extender in the deck really. You banish one from grave, special it from field, special it to field. Also useful for burn in time. You use it for link material of a Marincess monster. When it hits the grave, it can mill cards off the top of your deck for all Marincess names on field. Burns for 200 off each Marincess monster milled, so has come up quite a few times in those last few minutes of a game just to get that 200 damage burn and win on 8,000 against 7-8. So that's 3 Spring Girl. Great extender. 2 Pask, great opener to start with. You special normal summon it, and then you can special summon another Marincess from hand. Can get you 2 rank 4s on field. Can be very useful kind of mid combo if you have plentiful resources about. You can bring Pascals on field, bring something back like a Blue Tongue or a Spring Girl, and then go into a Kragan just for some kind of level of protection and just kind of destroying things during your opponent's next turn. Also, just to say, very useful for next turn recursion as well, allowing you to bring back your either destroyed Battle Ocean or your dive for further extension in turn 3. Next, playing 2 Mandarin. Most people tend to play 1 Mandarin, but I quite like Mandarin at 2. It's a useful card to discard off certain cards. I was playing Signet Mining and Forbidden Droplets, but I seem to have dropped those out of the deck for now. But still, just a great card. I love seeing it. Just allows me to continue extending my plays whilst it's in grave. So that's brilliant. Card that not many Marincess people are playing, but I absolutely love for this current format is Basila Lima. We're seeing a lot of Ghost Ogres going around because Super Heavy Samurais. This card can just allow your cards to be protected from destruction. Let's say I've got Coral Anemone on field. That can be a big Ghost Ogre hit and can stop my turn. If this is engraved, dumped off the blue tang, or sent by some other means, this can just prevent that from going off and catch people off guard really. So brilliant card to see in the deck sometimes. Next we're going to introduce something new to the deck which I haven't played before, and that's your new Ice Jade package. This is a fantastic card to just start your turn with really, before you even enter your main Marincess package. Is you can just special summon this by discarding something such as your Mandarin or your Spring Girl or your Seahorse. Great cards to have in the graveyard. So you can just discard this, summon this, get your level 3 tuner, and then just synchro immediately into this for some level of protection on your field. It's just gives this whole deck like a whole new level of protection, and it's also very useful to have extra 3k on field. As one thing Marincess has struggled with in the past is that killing somebody for like in one turn, it's like getting that OTK potentiality, and this package really just opens it up. So more on that in a bit though, but Ice Shade package, much better than the barrier statue lock that some people are playing at the moment. So next we're going to go for our hand traps. So we're going to play 3 Ash. It's always just been a standard, very powerful hand trap. You know, no complaints there, just does what Ash does and will always be good. We're playing 3 Ghost Ogre. You know, we're going into a format where we're seeing things like Super Heavy Samurais. This is just very good at just kind of stopping them when you hit their Scarecrow. Other decks that are, you know, big at the moment, this can kind of catch them off guard, and it can just kind of stop a lot of people's turns. Droll. We're in the Droll format. This card is essential to play at a 3 of. If you're not playing Droll at 3 right now, you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh correctly, and you're just not on a meta level. This card is essential, stopping a lot of decks. Locals a few weeks ago, every game I saw Droll, I was winning because Droll was just ending people's turns before they could play. Onto the spells, we're going to play 1 Battle Ocean. Can be quite a controversial opinion for a lot of Marincess players. This gets banished, it can be game over for certain Marincess players, but a lot of people can think that the deck lives and dies by this card, but If you lose it, you lose it. You can still go down your bubble reef route, getting your hand traps off the draw effect on the standby, building them up with banishes. Great card to have, but if you lose it, it's not the end of the world. So one copy is fine. If it's destroyed, recur it off the Basilisk next turn. Following this, you get your dives. One of the best bits of support this deck's ever received, allowing you to special summon a deck if the field spell is in operation. It's just incredible to have for the deck, and 2 is just a good ratio. 3 is a bit bricky as it's only once per turn. Moving on to board breakers, going to be playing 3 Dark Rulers. This is a format where we're seeing a lot of combo decks, big negation boards. This card is just going to stop them from being able to disrupt your turn, so essential for going second and just provides you that protection. Next we're going to be playing 2 Crossouts. I have a weird history with this card. I just never used to like this card. I always found it very bricky and just TCG play. But with the format we're in now, with things like Ghost Ogre Droll being very prevalent, whilst Droll doesn't hurt this deck too much, Ghost Ogre in the right place can really just stop this deck in its tracks. So Crossout feeling very essential. Thinking of potentially changing some of the hand traps to add Nibiru's to just add that level of protection there as well. Lastly, for the main deck, we're going to be running 3 wave. This card's cracked in this deck. You set up your link 3 or higher, you're just going to make your board unaffected during your opponent's turn, and it's not once per turn, so you can negate 2 or 3 times just with wave during your opponent's turn. And then just recur it with things like Marbled Rock and other link monsters. And then lastly, just essentially the hand trap of the Infinite Impermanence. Just standard hand trap, and people enjoy them. So that's the main deck. Move on to the extra. So we're playing 2 Sea Angels. That's your Spell Searcher. Just helps you get into your Battle Ocean. If you tend to draw into the Battle Ocean, you can search your dive just for that extra level of extension. Next we're playing 2 Blue Slug. This is what you're usually going into with your blue tie or your first summon, is hopefully having that Seahorse Engrave to allow you to bring that Seahorse back and then allow you to go into Angel. So just kind of your really main starter there. Next we're going to go for Crystal Heart. A lot of Marincess players aren't playing Crystal Heart right now. I don't really understand why. You can summon Crystal Heart, and with the field spell, it's going to make your next monster unaffected. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Bringing this back with Anemone to then go into your link 4 like Aqua Argonaut or Bubble Reef. You've got an unaffected monster already there, which is either providing a spell negate with Argonaut or just hand trap drawing with Bubble Reef. So this card is absolutely broken, and I think it's a mistake for people not to play this. Next we're playing 2 Anemone. One of the most essential links in this deck, 2 water monsters, allowing you to special summon either your Crystal Heart, your Blue Tang, anything else to help, extend your plays into your link 3s and higher. And then the great effect of when it's going to grave, by any means, so linking it off allows you to recur one of those cards back into your hand. So just great for extension. Next we're playing 1 Coral Triangle. With 3 wave, this isn't too essential. This is very useful to get that wave if you don't see it. But the effect that I like the most about this is if I know I'm playing against someone who potentially can't OTK me, this can be good to set up with just 3 equips and leave it there. For this card can help me extend in turn 3 by banishing it and bringing back an Anemone and another link 1. Link ratings up to the link of 3 to allow me to just completely combo off in turn 3. This card is great just as a one-off. Next, we're going to be playing the Marbled Rock. Great as a one-off, just old Marincess players, the 4/5 Marbled Rock Tower, unaffected. Just sometimes very simple to put up, and just leave it there if you know you can plough through with just a simple link 3 at that level, and allows you the recursion of perhaps wave in grave. Onto the link 4s, we're playing Argonaut and Bubble Reef. So Argonaut's your spell and trap negate during your opponent's turn. So let's say they potentially go into evenly matched, you can just negate with Argonaut by summoning one of your equipped links. Also useful for board breaking in your own turn. You can return 1 water monster you control to the hand and 1 card they control to the hand, and remove problematic monsters that can't be destroyed or banished. Bubble Reef is always growing in attack if every card's banished. Every card that gets banished gains 600 attack, so you can keep using things like your Spring Girl, your Basilalima, your Mandarin. It keeps gaining attack. If you're going up against things like Kashtira, or what was I playing earlier, one of the decks, they kept banishing and it just kept growing in attack, and it was going quite threatening to deal with. Even without the ocean, it was hitting things like 5,000, 6,000 attack. So it's a really powerful card and great card to end your board on. So out with the Marincess engine, we're going to be playing a few strange cards. First of these is Era the Water Charmer. A lot of people would perhaps play Splash Mage in this slot, but I quite like this for on the chance you go up against someone who's perhaps got waters in their deck, decks with many attributes. A few weeks ago, I was playing against Plunder Patrol, was able to steal one of their cards and then complete the combo off using their own stuff, and then get into a Link 4 and then just swing for game using their own materials. So, great card. Next is Zelantis. This card just wins games. You put yourself under a water lock, banish the entire field, and it's you special summoning the monsters back. So you can't special summon the opponent's cards back unless they're water. So it allows you to just completely ruin their board and banish everything, and they can't do much about it after that. Just game-winning card, really. Following that, we've got the Kragan. Brilliant card. We're playing a lot of level 4s. It's a quick effect pop during the opponent's turn that doesn't target, and it turns everything to water, so can make things very problematic. A few weeks ago, I was playing against an Earth Machines player. The fact that everything's water on their field, they were struggling to play, but they need to be Earth, not water machines. And lastly, we have the Ice Jade Synchro, which is just kind of protecting our board during your opponent's turn. You summon this with the Ran from earlier, setting this up, and then going into your Marincess package, and it just offers a great level of protection and attack power for the deck. We'll head on to the side deck lastly, pretty much unchanged since last time. We're playing 3 Lancia. Well, banishing isn't as prevalent as it used to be. The deck doesn't have much answer to banishing things that banish, so Lancia can be very useful for things against Runic. Perhaps your field spell's going to get banished. Playing Lancia can help get around that, so I just find it's very useful for this deck as it has a lot of answers to a lot of other things. Next, we're playing Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. It's basically just an in-time win for this. It's just always sad if a game 3 can sometimes very much help with that. Next, we're playing 2 Lightning Storms and your Harpies, and basically using this as back row removal. This is one thing that deck struggles with a lot, is back row removal, so I think this is a nice number. I could play 3 Storms and Duster, but I like it as a 3-off, just like in that way, as you don't have the restriction on the Duster. Next, we're playing Gozen Match. This is brilliant with the Kragan. If they haven't got any water monsters in their deck and you set up Kragan and flip Gozen, there's not much they can do unless they get rid of Gozen. So Kragan lock, brilliant with Gozen. Then lastly, we're playing 3 Evenly. Just good board removal, So not much else to say about Evenly. Just Evenly.
It's time! Let's go!